Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea, A Farewell to Arms, Stoicism, Masculinity, War, Solitude, and You. You wake up, and something already feels off. Not dramatic, just subtle. A quiet kind of heaviness you've stopped trying to name. You breathe, you stretch, you check your phone. But even before your feet touch the floor, you can already feel the tension underneath. The weight of everything you have to be. The man you're expected to perform as. The resilience you're supposed to fake. The emotions you're told to bury. And it all leads to that simple, bitter question. Why keep going? Why try? This is where Hemingway steps in. Not as a philosopher, not as a self-help guru, but as someone who lived with fire in his blood, bullets in his past, and ache in his bones. He doesn't give you motivational speeches. He doesn't promise ease. He offers something far more honest, a blueprint for survival. Not just how to live, but how to endure with dignity. So here are 7 Hemingway lessons you can live by. They're not glamorous, but they're real. 1. Be the old man. Show up anyway. You probably remember Santiago, an old fisherman alone on the sea, battling a marlin bigger than his boat. What you may forget is this. He spent 84 days catching nothing, not a bite, not a shred of success. But on the 85th day, he sails out again. There is no cheering crowd, no promise of reward, just the old man and the sea. You know this feeling. You've had seasons, long ones, where everything you tried failed. Relationships that didn't hold, work that drained you, dreams that never made it past your notebook. And still, something in you says, try again. That's something. That's what Hemingway calls courage. A man can be destroyed, but not defeated. Destroyed, yes. But defeat is a decision, and you don't make it. 2. Redefine masculinity. Strength is quiet. Hemingway's men aren't loud. They're not fragile egos puffed up by bravado. They're men who bleed quietly, who lose honorably, who carry grief without turning it into violence. In a world where masculinity is either attacked or parodied, Hemingway brings it back to center. He teaches you that real strength doesn't come from how many reps you do, how much money you make, or how stoic you pretend to be. Real strength is how still you stay in the storm, how deeply you love without losing yourself, how much truth you carry, even when no one claps for it. His characters don't perform masculinity. They practice it through restraint, action, and clarity. You don't need to prove you're a man. You just need to be one. 3. Learn the grace of solitude. Hemingway lived in war zones and writing cabins, in bullfighting arenas, and wide, quiet seas. But his most honest moments, his most powerful scenes, happen when a man is completely alone. Santiago is not afraid of solitude. He respects it, because it is only in solitude that we meet the version of ourselves we can't lie to. You live in a hyper-connected world. Noise is everywhere, notifications, opinions, obligations. And yet, how often do you actually hear yourself? Hemingway teaches you this: if you cannot sit with your own silence, you'll always be at the mercy of someone else's noise. Solitude is not something to fear. It is something to hone. It is where you sharpen your inner blade. It is where clarity is born. And if you can make peace with being alone, you will never again beg to be seen. 4. Love deeply, even if it breaks you. Love in Hemingway's world is raw. It's not soft-focused romance or fairy tale endings. It's trench deep and fragile and real. In A Farewell to Arms, love blooms in war's shadow. It's passionate, it's desperate, and it doesn't last. But Hemingway never regrets it, because to him, love, true love, is always worth the risk. When you love, you wish to do things for, you wish to sacrifice for, you wish to serve. You don't need perfect love. You need honest love, love that's unguarded. That makes you want to become someone worth loving. Even if it ends, even if it hurts, you loved, you felt, and that means you were alive. 5. Fight the war, inside and out. Hemingway survived real wars, but he also survived the invisible ones, the kind you fight in the dark, in silence, the kind no one sees, the kind you don't get medals for. He carried trauma, he drank, he broke, but he kept writing, kept walking, kept trying to make sense of the chaos. You may not have bullets flying around you, but you know war. The war against your own mind, the war against despair, the war of trying to be someone you're proud of. And Hemingway tells you this: you don't have to win every battle, but you must show up for the fight, even when you're tired, especially when you're tired. 6. Cut the fluff. Live simply, speak clearly. Hemingway's writing is like a clean knife. No decoration, no distraction, just truth. He believed the hardest thing in the world is to write one true sentence. And so, he built his whole career on doing just that. You can do the same in your life. Cut the lies, cut the excess, cut the need to impress. Speak clearly, live simply. Let your values, not your image, do the talking. When you say less, your actions weigh more. And when your life is clean of clutter, mental, emotional, digital, you finally make room for what matters. 7. Practice grace under pressure. This is Hemingway's deepest teaching, not a philosophy, not a rule, a code. He believed that a man shows his character in pressure, not in comfort. Not when he's winning, but when he's bleeding. To have grace under pressure is to keep your soul intact, while everything around you crumbles. You don't panic. You don't collapse. You breathe. You choose your next step with integrity, and you take it quietly. That's not weakness, that's mastery. And it will be the thing people remember about you, long after the storm has passed. Final reflection: Hemingway's world is your world. You will be broken. You will be lonely. You will feel rage. You will fail. But you will also heal. You will stand. You will learn to fight with stillness, to speak with honesty, to love without fear, to live without apology. You were not meant for comfort. You were meant for truth, for depth, for courage, and Hemingway. Brutal, brilliant, broken Hemingway. Left you a map. So take it and keep walking. Pick up your pen, your paintbrush, your axe, your burden, your truth, and go. Because this world may break you, but it can also make you stronger at the broken places.